What's up YouTube, it's TCG here and welcome back to another TCG video on my channel. Today we're going to be doing a Phantasmal Flames tier list prediction. This is based on Japanese results, so they have been playing with these cards already, so we have some data which decks are going to be going up higher or lower up on the tier list with these new cards implemented. We've seen stuff like Dawn, Battle Colosseum, Mega Lopunny, Mega Diancie and all that that is going to be having an impact on the format, so I'm very excited to be talking about this tier list. If you want to know how the Pokemon TCG meta will feel with Phantasmal Flames, and this is a video for you. If you guys are excited, let me know by rocking the hell out of the like button. It only takes 1 second every time. It is super effective on the channel and I am forever grateful if you would do so. Without further ado, let's dive into this tier list and also let me know down below which deck you are looking forward to the most. Let's talk about Gardevoir with Mega Diancie. I am not actually going to be putting it into tier S quite yet, because there are still some threats that Gardevoir needs to be taking a look at. There's still some darkness decks in the format, but Mega Diancie should help. The reason why I'm not putting it in tier S is that we're going to be putting Gholdengo in tier S, because Gholdengo has proven itself time and time again and gets also the Mega Lopunny, which actually takes care of all the weaknesses it has. But yeah, Gardevoir EX with Mega Diancie against a basic Pokemon with 270 HP, coming back with an ability that actually has a 30 reduction going into you and is weak to metal instead of darkness, which really helps out Gardevoir in a whole, because if you're up against a bunch of darkness based decks, you can actually use the Mega Diancie as an attacker of choice, because you're not going to be weak to, of course, darkness, and with the help of Monkey Dory you can get to some crazy numbers with its attack, slapping 120 damage for every energy you have to discard from the Mega Diancie. You can discard up to 2 energies and out of nowhere 240 with like double Monkey Dory, that's 300. So Mega Diancie really helping out Gardevoir. I'll put it in tier A. It could be even higher, but I've seen over in Japan that there is still a lot of hype for stuff like Charizard or stuff like Gholdengo, which is typically harder for Gardevoir to deal with. So as you see here, there's also a world where we can play like the Jelly Sand build to of course have a better matchup against Gholdengo, but that's actually not that helpful any longer, because like Mega Lopunny only requires like 1 colorless energy to slap huge damage. So there is that. For me, Gardevoir is always a great deck until it rotates, and in the Phantasmal Flames I'm definitely putting it in tier A because it gains that Mega Diancie EX. The main thing about it is that it has a lot of tank ability, and the second thing, doesn't require too many energy. So it's like a little bit like Lilith's Clefairy, like on turn 2 you can start swinging with it if you happen to start with it, which is actually not too bad, slapping 240, and also having a different weakness than darkness really helps out the Gardevoir deck. Another cool thing is Crussell. Crussell gains the Jumbo Ice Cream, and that's actually going to be very helpful. Crussell is a Pokemon that cannot get damaged by EX Pokemon at all, so that's awesome. You now gain the Jumbo Ice Cream, so the one prize Pokemon, the non-rule box Pokemon that are able to slap damage onto you, you can actually heal off a little bit easier. In the past, we had to rely on stuff like Poke Vital A, an A-Spec card to heal 120 damage. Now you can have like a very aggressive or better A-Spec cards like Prime Catcher to hunt down the Pokemon that could cause a threat. You can also get Secret Box shown up in the mix with Crussell, so it is definitely going to be a little bit of a buff. Note to self is that Mega Lopunny does have a second attack which slaps through all the effects, so that is a very troublesome thing, but I do think that Crussell find its way in the mid of the meta here. Tier B for me. Crussell has great matchups across the field. There's still some bad matchups out there like Gardevoir, for example. I think that's going to be slowing it down from like going all the way into tier A or tier S. A deck like this will never be tier S. If people tag for it, they win. But Jumbo Ice Cream is a new addition for the Crussell deck, and that's why we're talking about it right now. Mega Gengar EX. It is unfortunate that I have to put this in the don't play this category. I know people are gonna like say like, oh no, Mega Gengar, what's happening? I know we have Grimmsnarl's move which can cheat out a Mega Gengar out of nowhere, but it seems like over in Japan it hasn't got any results whatsoever. I might be wrong on this. Maybe it actually can find its way into the meta, maybe tier C, but for now I would not play this because it actually is not backing up the results. If you want to play it, you have to play with like low HP Ghastlies, and you have to go for rare candies. I know like your Mega Gengar will only give up like 2 prizes instead of 3 because it comes back with that ability, that Darkness Pokemon. If they are knocked out by EX Pokemon, take up 1 less prize card, but there are still some non-rule box Pokemon that can still knock you out, or you can also get knocked out by Adrenabrain damage, and then the ability does not activate, and that's why it is actually not as good as people want it to be. Because it is limited, the opponent has full control. If you are knocked out by an EX, your Darkness Pokemon gives up one less prize card, but if you're knocked out by a non-rule box Pokemon, it doesn't activate. If you're getting knocked out by Frostlass damage or TM Devo plays, it doesn't activate. So there are still some troubles with that ability, even though it looks very strong on paper. You can combine with stuff like N Zoroark EX, so all your N Zoroarks becomes one prize Pokemon. But it's still not there. Maybe we will have to get a genius deck builder involved to create a very fantastic Mega Gengar EX deck. Also, having a Darkness type, not that strong anymore now that Mega Diancie is also finding its way into the Gardevoir archetype. So for me, Mega Gengar, with all due respect, Mega Gengar is an awesome Pokemon, but for now, I would not play this. What else can we talk about? Mega Sharpedo with the Toxicity. The cool thing is that this is an archetype that can slap huge damage, like 270 for like 2 energies is very great. Mega Sharpedo is a 3-prize Pokemon, might I add, and Toxicity also is having the ability to get energies instantly from the deck to your Darkness Pokemon, in addition that you put 2 damage counters on those Pokemon. The cool news is that you need damage counters on your Mega Sharpedo to slap huge damage. Another thing is that you can combine it with Monkey Dories. Monkey Dories can instantly get activated because you get energies into play, and get an energy acceleration from the deck, I feel, is very, very good. So Toxicity might find its way. There's also like a Seviper, which you can put in this deck, which slaps 240 for a 1-prize Pokemon. Also pretty damn nice. So this is going to be some sort of a box. I still have not figured out the correct list quite yet, but having energy acceleration from the deck is awesome. You're already playing the Darkness package, so you can actually add in some clutch of Yveltal. You can go with some Monkey Dories. There's still a lot of things we can go with this. Maybe some energy switches left and right can allow you to attack with specific attackers, like for example Lily's Clefairy. If you go energy switch as well as a Prism Energy or something like that, you can get some very cool combos going. It is only tier C. Doesn't get that crazy amount of results, but it's very cool nevertheless. Toxicity, a very strong stage 1 Pokemon that's going to be powering up Darkness Pokemon. Okay, continuing on. Which deck also gets a buff? I'm going to be putting Gholdengo in tier S. Yeah, I've done it. If you don't believe me, over in Japan, it has been crushing city leagues left and right. Why is Gholdengo better? It's already great right now. I don't know if you've watched the Gdansk regionals, but that Gholdengo deck obliterated that event. It was very strong, high meta percentage, high conversion rate, and also note now, the only thing that can shut down a Gholdengo, there are like 3 weaknesses you could say, like you are weak to Cornerstone, you're weak to Crussell. Both of those weaknesses you can patch up with Mega Lopunny EX. The Mega Lopunny can deal with Cornerstone, and its second attack of the Mega Lopunny can deal with Crussells. So that's fantastic. Like with a 2-card include, you get rid of those bad things. The only thing that can shut down a Gholdengo now is Eerie, and you might also have full control if you don't draw too many cards. Then maybe the Eerie's will not be that successful. So yeah. A very strong deck, very hard to counter, has very crazy amount of aggression with the help of Soul Rocks, it draws tons of cards. We have Lunar Cycle, we have the coin bonus, we have Serendipity, so you draw like your entire deck. You have a very, very strong archetype right here, and for me that is an indication of a tier S candidate, so there's that. Continuing on, any other new things? Charizard, Mega Charizard X EX. I'm also putting it at the low end of tier C. That actually is an archetype that could technically manage, not only because like there is like the capability of having a Mega Charizard X EX with 360 HP. There's not a lot of water types in the format, which is awesome. And you pretty much one-hit KO anything in the game, which is also very, very nice. Oricorio allows you to get energies into play as often as you like. You have, of course, the attack from the Mega Charizard X EX, 90 damage for every fire energy you're willing to discard. For me, it feels like it's trying to do the same thing like a Raging Bolt, but it requires you to have more work, right? I know we have Fire Breather to get like 7 energies instantly from the deck flowing out on your field, but I'm probably better off like using stuff like Earthen Vessel, which is still in the format, by the way. I think the multiplier of 90 is already strong enough as it is. You don't need 7 energies. There's also Moltres as a 1-prize fire-type Pokemon, slapping a whopping 110 against EX Pokemon, enough to knock out Genesect EX, which is played in the most popular deck in the room. there is still some things going with this. I don't know. For me, it hasn't get the results that it needs quite yet. And Mega Charizard X EX is seeing play more in Charizard EX than it is seeing play in this archetype. This archetype is less popular. Like, if you want to use Mega Charizard X EX, you're better off playing a Charizard deck and adding it in as a one-off. That's where I see Mega Charizard X EX the most. If I take a look, I've taken a look at like over 200 tournaments over in Japan, so that's what we can conclude. It's a tier C deck at most. Yeah, for me, that feels fine. Alright, what else can we talk about that is new? Mega Lopunny with Dusnoir. I'll put that in tier B. This is a very cool new archetype. Mega Lopunny requires you to have yeah, less investment into it. You just evolve one energy and off you go. You have jet energies that can help you out to reset the attack effect. You can also get some Dusnoirs thrown in because you're slapping 230 damage if you came from the bench, right? How amazing is that? 230, combine that with a Dusnoir, and you're actually at incredible numbers. Even with a regular Dusclops, you're hitting 280, which is enough to like knock out Gholdengo and Zoroark EX, you name it. It's fantastic. So I don't know if it's going to be crazy successful. You probably also would need like Klefkis, because otherwise you will not be able to use your Dusnoirs if people have Psyduck. But with the high amount of jet energies, that's going to be fantastic. Also, you can have enriching energy as a way you can draw more cards, and with stuff like Turo, even if the opponent attacks you, you can yeah, just heal off that damage and attack with another Mega Lopunny EX. It is actually quite interesting to see that a low maintenance attacker can do that much damage. You also are very similar to like back in the days of Golisopod EX or GX. Having low amount of energies required allows you to heal more damage, actually to heal more successfully with stuff like Turo and all that. So I wonder how far this archetype will actually go, because it does look very promising. Mega Lopunny EX with Dusnoir, tier B for me. Okay, any other new decks or decks that got a little bit of an upgrade? If I'm taking a look at Alakazam, also put that in tier B for now. It was tier C before, but with Battle Coliseum, a stadium that can shut down Phantom Dive residual damage, Adrenabrain on the bench, and Dusnoir and Dusclops on the bench, I think Alakazam has finally found its perfect stadium card to protect itself from all those bench spreading options. So with that being said, you also gain Wonder Patch or Wondrous Patch, allowing you to, it's actually like, I would say Aqua Patch or Dark Patch or Metal Saucer, but then for Psychic decks. So you can accelerate a Psychic energy from your bench to one of your Psychic Pokemon. So that's going to be awesome. That means you can have your Enriching Energy Ace Pack card of the turn, and then if you still need an energy on Alakazam, you can yeah, rely onto the Wondrous Patch to get that filled up. So Alakazam will become better. It is a deck that is already seeing a little bit of results left and right. If I'm playing like, if I was at the little regionals, I saw some Alakazam sitting next to me in the higher table, so that was interesting for sure. So Alakazam is gonna get better, and it's not gonna be tier A. 100% not. There are still ways to beat it quite easily. A high amount of Iono, Zero Sick, all of that can still take it down, but it gains a little bit of a buff with Colosseum. The Battle Colosseum is there. Okay, same goes for Slowking. Still put it in tier C, however. It is one of those archetypes. It does gain a Wondrous Patch. That means that you no longer need like those pesky Zatus to, of course, fuel your energy. You can maybe play a higher amount of supporters, maybe something else entirely. But is it gonna be better? I don't know. People are still playing Shaman. If they are playing Shaman, your Curums are actually doing nothing. There's still a world where Slowking can become better, but it's probably gonna have to wait until we get the new item card, the PAL order. So for now, tier C for me. But yeah, it also gains Wondrous Patch. I wanted to note that as well. Any other new cards we want to talk about? I think like in this situation, there's not a lot of new stuff. Like Mewtwo, same story. Rocket's Mewtwo can gain Wondrous Patch. Is it going to be way more successful that way? It is limited with its damage output. I would still have not seen that many over in Japan, so I'll still put it in tier C. The Rocket's Mewtwo with Spidops. The cool thing is that Spidops has a Grass type. The Grass type is good against stuff like Marnie's Grimmsnarl, Charizard EX, so that is great with the Wondrous Patch and the Team Rocket's double energy right there. You can get the attack cost filled with Rocket's Mewtwo instantly. Is it going to help put Rocket's Mewtwo at the top tables? Probably not, but the Rocket's engine still has one of the most powerful, you have the top the powerful engines it has, because you have Team Rocket's Transceiver, you have the very amazing Ariana, there is the Giovanni, which allows you to have some like ways to find out your gusting options. So the engine is great. The Pokemon attacking options are limited though. Continuing on. There's a lot of decks in the format. It's actually kind of crazy. Yeah, Gardevoir also put on tier A. Like both of them, I know they play like a little bit different because they come back. Like one has the TM Devo plays, has the item locking capabilities. The other one has more consistency with stuff like it's gonna be more turbo, more rare candies, all that stuff. But both of them, I'll put them in tier A. Like I am not convinced yet that I want to put the Gardevoir decks in tier S in this format. We've seen in the last couple of regionals, the last two, that Gardevoir didn't get a top 8 slot in both of them. Like we've seen over in Brisbane, over in Gdansk, it didn't get a top 8. There was too much hate, too much darkness decks around, and yeah, I don't know if that's gonna continue or not, but Gardevoir in tier A seems great for me. You could still debate on putting it in tier S, but for now, I'm not gonna do it. Another deck that I actually am very, very impressed by is Charizard EX. Charizard EX here gains Moltres, which is a very fantastic one price Pokemon that's gonna allow you to help against Gholdengo. Not only is Charizard already playing maximum belt, so you can put that Moltres to some good use. The cool thing is that Moltres is actually slapping 110. Combine that with a maximum belt, and you're knocking out stuff like Squawkabilly as well. You're knocking out Teal Mask Ogerpon, and with the maximum belt, you're all knocking out Gholdengo EX as well. So that's why I think the one price Moltres could be a nice include instead of going for Chiyu. But if you're going like the route for the Moltres, your Crussell matchup becomes a little bit more difficult. So it all comes down to your personal playstyle. Also, with the help of Klefki, you can shut down entire engines, and that's why I feel like Charizard is in a great spot. You can shut down Lunatones, you can shut down stuff like Genesect EX, you can shut down all of the basic abilities, even shutting down a little bit of the Squawkabilly action left and right. It will allow you to win against a very aggressive deck. So Charizard, a very, very strongly positioned at almost tier S for me, but I think I'll only put Gholdengo in tier S for now. I've seen a lot of ways that Gholdengo can be played with, and for me, that's the only tier S deck in this format. Yeah, Charizard, tier A, strong. You have Pidgeot with the Quick Search, getting any card you want. We also gain a new Charmeleon with 110 HP, slapping 40 damage for a single energy, which also can be enough, definitely combined with some Dusnoirs to help out against Crussell. So maybe shifting your Chiyu all the way into a Moltres can, yeah, get yourself into some great positions, because Moltres combined with Dusnoir can also do quite a little bit of stuff if you don't have a Charizard out on the field. Alright, what else do we have? Jolteon-Gholdengo. Yeah, tier B. Jolteon-Gholdengo is, it actually has a great conversion rate. If I take a look at the data from Gdansk, I think it has a 53% conversion rate going into day 2, so it is still doing something right. You have the power of the Iron Hands, of course, to take a lot of prize cards early on, and then you'll end off with the Make It Rain. So pretty much against every deck in the format, you can go 2-2-2, which is very, very strong. The thing is, like, if you get an item locked, it's gonna be a little bit more difficult, but nothing that this deck cannot manage. It's just struggling against its own consistency. Like, I think the regular Gholdengo with like Lunatone draws into the deck deeper to find those superior energy retrievals, but here you can sit behind an Iron Hand, so if the opponent is not able to take down the Iron Hands, you can actually have a great time going for you. So you also have the Brock's Grid, or actually, yeah, the Brock cards, getting your Pokemon out. You have the Miraidon to get your Joltik, you get your Iron Hands. Sometimes you even throw in a Pikachu in there as well, which can help out. But it is tier B for me. I cannot put it any higher. I think it has struggles a little bit against Charizard. Sometimes the Gardevoir matchup could go either way. Depends on how good the Gardevoir player is. Now with like Mega Diancie, a little bit difficult. You would need to set up a Pikachu, and if they have a Bravery Charm on the Mega Diancie, it is definitely going to be very difficult. So yeah, there's that. For me, tier B. Okay, continuing on, and Zoroark, I'll put on tier A. This is a very good archetype. There's a lot of ways where you can actually boost your End Zoroark to the matchups you want. You can add in a Toadscruel if you want to, a 1/1 line to shut down superior energy retrieval. You can play Heroescape. You can add in Mega Absol EX, some E-switches to get, of course, that attack going of the Mega Absol. There is the Patcherant Yveltal combo where you can trap opponents and then still use some Monkey Dory damage. Zoroark draws tons of cards, has great typings, and I think it's still gonna be tier A in this upcoming Phantasmal Flames format. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Continuing on, we are gonna be talking about Wugtrio Mill. I would not play that. So we're gonna be talking about like some decks that I personally would not play, and that's actually Wugtrio Mill is one of them. I would not play that. It's an interesting way to like mill. It's gonna be great in specific scenarios. But if the opponents know exactly what they're doing, I think Wugtrio Mill doesn't see success all the time. It is just random with, of course, the Undersea Tunnel. You discard some of the opponent's cards. You need your Ignition energies left and right. I would be surprised if Wugtrio Mill got into a top 8 at one point. Then we have Typhlosion. It's also a deck I also would not play. Even though you might think, oh, Typhlosion has a great time up against Gholdengo, right? It loses against like a lot of archetypes. I would say Gardevoir is difficult. Marnie's Grimmsnarl is difficult. I would say like this Eaton's Typhlosion also doesn't hit like the numbers at one point. It loses against any Dusnoir base variant, and like you say like, oh, I can play Psyduck, but then Charizard is playing Klefki, so that no longer matters. I would not play Typhlosion, unfortunately. It's a cool Pokemon though. Marnie's Grimmsnarl, I'll put it in the high end of tier B. I played Grimmsnarl a lot, and with Gholdengo being tier 1, actually tier S, I cannot play Marnie's Grimmsnarl too much anymore. If you whip out the Gholdengos, you're going to be having a great time. Great time up against Charizard if I'm not playing Mist Energy. Great time up against Gardevoir, but Gardevoir now has Mega Diancie EX, so there's a little bit of things going wrong from Marnie's Grimmsnarl. It's still a strong deck, and it's still in the high end of tier B, but it has some rough times. I know you have like Frostlass action going, Monkey Dory action, TM Devo plays. Marnie's Grimmsnarl also very easy to set up. One secret box can find yourself Spike Mud, Rare Candy, and all that. But it all comes down to, can you beat the top decks very convincingly? And I would say like you're having troubles against Gholdengo. You can still beat it, but if they're playing like 2 Turos or a Picnic Basket, or like 1 Turo, 1 Picnic Basket, it's gonna be very, very hard. Definitely. And you also now come back with Mega Lopunny, a Pokemon that does not compact with an ability, and that means you're gonna have a very rough time. It slaps 230, so that's already a crazy amount of chunk damage that's being hit on you. They also come back like Turo, they can get that Mega Pokemon back into their hand. So yeah, not too convinced against the Gholdengo matchup. So for me, tier B. Alright, Garchomp. Yeah, I cannot see a reason why Garchomp suddenly is way better. I think I can still put it here. High end of tier C. It is an archetype coming back with like Cynthia's Rose Raid, Premium Power Pro, slapping more damage, Corkscrew Dive, drawing tons of cards. I know that, but it hasn't seen results. That is the main problem about this archetype. It hasn't seen results. It loses to Gholdengo, which can one-shot you. There is still a world out there where stuff like Raging Bolt can also one-shot you. I don't know. I have not tested too much with Cynthia's Garchomp, but from what I've seen, it doesn't seem to be having crazy high win rate. Its damage output is also limited. You slap 100. I know its second attack, the Draconic Buster, slaps 260. Combine that with like Cynthia's Rose Raid with some Premium Power Pros, and you're slapping like a ridiculous amount of damage, but then you have to discard your energy. I don't know. Against this matchup, I was playing Marnie's Grimmsnarl this season, right? So what I was doing, like, I was strapping Cynthia's Rose Raid with Clutch. That's hilarious. And then use the Frostlass and then TM Devo this entire field. So not too convinced with that archetype quite yet. So many archetypes. It's crazy. Gholdengo with Energy Search Pro. I don't know if it's still a nice way to go, but I think the Zoroark engine has proven itself time and time again. So I'll put that one in tier B. You can combine that with like a small package of Togekiss to cheat out additional prizes. That could be very good. It's been a while since we've seen Gholdengo with Energy Search Pro do well, and in this upcoming format, I don't see it getting any better. So for me, tier B with the Gholdengo Energy Search Pro. Greninja with Pidgeot is a tier C deck for me. It is having its high moments. You have Dusnoir capabilities, you have the Ignition Energy, you can take down on multiple threats at the same time. But Greninja, unfortunately, is weak to Psychic. Gardevoir still in the higher tiers, and that's going to be meaning that this archetype doesn't get higher than tier C for me. Mega Absol box. Tier A for me. This is another one of those I hate Gardevoir decks. Coming back with Mega Absol, you're going to be able to snatch cards from the opponent's hand. You go for the Turbo Energize. This is like the Tort Box deck that got popularized. People over in Brisbane, actually the Japanese players, piloted that to some great success with the help of Eerie. So instead of relying on Cornerstone to fix specific matchups, they're adding an Eerie, which is going to help out against Gholdengo. Your Mega Absol helps out against Gardevoir. With Eerie and the attack of Mega Absol EX, you're going to be able to snatch a lot of items from a Charizard based deck. So it is still a strong archetype. Very difficult to play, I might add, to play correctly, but it's still there. You have options with Clutch, Petra, EX. The Mega Kangaskhan draws cards with Run Errand. Sometimes you can have a highlight moment where you flip all heads with your Kangaskhan and one-shot something you thought was never possible, but it's a strong archetype. It's the Mega Box right there. What else? Let's go. So many archetypes in this format, it's crazy. Raging Bolt, low end of tier B. I cannot put it any higher for me. Like, Raging Bolt has not gotten the results yet. Ever since like we've gotten into the Mega Evolution format, Raging Bolt fell off. I think it was at 1.4% meta share. Like, we came from like 11% meta share and dropped down all the way to 4% meta share. The reason for that is like Ceruledge is a very strong deck against it. Gholdengo is a very strong deck against it. They can actually decide the price trade, right? So they can go for the 2-2-2 way quicker because they have like the situations where you have the Ceruledge, and the Ceruledge can then take down Tealmask. Same goes for Gholdengo. You evolve, you decide when you want to take a 2-prize knockout. Like Raging Bolt also very tough time up against Charizard and the Briar situations. Very tough time up against Gardevoir, and yeah, it hasn't been performing all too well. Even though in Japan people are claiming it to be a tier A deck, but they are playing best of 1, and in the best of 3 world here, I think Raging Bolt, should we put it any higher? Probably like maybe higher than Alakazam, right? Something like this. Seems sufficient. It's in the low end of tier B for me, based on results. Okay, Ho-Oh Arborouge, cool deck. Low end of tier C, I would say. It is having capabilities to attack with Wellspring Ogerpon, with Iron Hands, with Reshiram EX, but it comes down to consistency, right? I know you have Lily's Determination, setting all your stuff up. You have Prism Energies, all that good stuff. But in the end, you need Fire Energies. You also could be playing like a Moltres in this archetype. You're playing Fire Energy, so the Moltres is a 1-prize Pokemon that can offswing the price trade if you're like up against Gholdengo or like anything with a Tealmask Ogerpon. But yeah, I cannot put it higher. It's like tier C for me. What else? Mega Lucario. Mega Lucario. Interesting archetype, right? We all put it... hasn't also seen that much success. In a world with Gardevoir out there, in a world where like there's Dusnoirs and attacking capabilities of like Charizard and all that, you do hit Kangaskhan for weakness. Should we put it in tier B? Too much Gardevoir still, right? Gardevoir is like 90% of the meta. Even though it's like not tier S, 90% of the meta is a lot. Ugh. I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. I'll just put it in tier B. Tier B for Mega Lucario. You have access to a Lunatone Solrock draw engine. You can of course gust with Hariyama. You have a second attack which allows you to one-shot with the help of like Maximum Belt and Premium Power Pro. Maybe the Mega Lucario can definitely shine at one point. Dracopult, Dusnoir. Yeah, still alright. Tier A for me. It's an archetype, has proven it time and time again. We did see that there was a crazy conversion rate. I think it was over in Lille where it actually dominated quite a bit. This is an archetype that can hide behind a Budu and a lot of matchups. So even though like if the matchups and all that become like very difficult, you can always cheese out games by using HE Pollen followed up by the Dusnoir Explosion. So Phantom Dive and Dusnoir, very strong. I know Battle Colosseum is being released, so I think that's something you have to put in your mind. Battle Colosseum could be teched in like Zoroark decks. It could be played in Charizard decks. It's definitely going to be seeing play in Alakazam decks, but it's not going to be too much widespread. So Still a tier A deck. Dragapult and Zoroark, Gardevoir, Charizard, Gholdengo. These are like very fine archetypes. You cannot go wrong if you like put a time and investment into those archetypes. Straight Dragapult, I would not play that. I can put it in tier C, I suppose, but it is outclassed by the Dusnoir. I know like you have more tech rooms, you can put Toedscruel in there, and I think having access to Toedscruel is gonna help your Gholdengo matchup a little bit, but on the other hand, they're playing like bazillion amount of Bossasaur, so they can go after your Toedscruels. It's not gonna be that well positioned for me, so tier C for the regular Dragapult. Flareon, let's go. Flareon, put it in tier B. Flareon box, popularized by Emma after seeing that dominant performance. You of course have access to Leafeon EX, Flareon EX, if you want even Sylveon EX, but I would not recommend that. There's Wellspring in this archetype, you're a Noctowl based deck. A lot of archetypes in this format want to go second, which means you can of course get that Fan Rotom action going, get your Noctowls out the deck flying, and then go for Sparkling Crystal in combination with Crispin to blow up the opponent. Flareon, good time up against stuff like Gholdengo. You of course have Wellspring if the opponents are not playing Shayman. There is Briar capabilities. You have Blood Moon in the late game. Sometimes you're tacking in a 1/0/1 line of Pidgeot EX to have that additional cherry pick with the Quick Search. So yeah, Flareon box still great. And yeah, let's continue on. Mega Kangaskhan with Bouffalant. This is an archetype that I also put in tier B, maybe even the higher end of tier B. The reason why I'm putting it higher is that we get that Jumbo Ice Cream, and the cool thing with Jumbo Ice Cream is that you can heal 80 with a Pokemon that has 3 energies or more, and with Kangaskhan having 300 HP, you can now like maybe tech in something like with the Bouffalants, with the Heroescape, you're gonna have like an insane amount of hit points. That's like 460 that the opponent needs to hit through. You have the Jumbo Ice Creams that could work out. So I think there is definitely something there with the Mega Kangaskhan, definitely because we do gain that Jumbo Ice Cream. You can also tech in the fantastic Battle Coliseum to protect yourself from some Dustnoirs on the bench, even though like people want to go after your Bouffalants. That could be a nice way to protect them. Ceruledge, high end of tier B, maybe like this. Yeah, sure. Ceruledge, strong deck, can be played with the Legacy Energy to offset the price trade. You can play with Brilliant Blender to even go more aggressively, so that's already awesome. You of course dump all your energies in your discard pile, slap more damage with the Abyssal Flames attack. We have now, I think, like 11 Charcadets to choose from, so choose wisely. There's like 80 HP fellas, there's like the 70 HP fella that can knock out a Budu with 1 energy. You have access to Lunatone, Zoroark for draw engines, Quackability for more draw powers, the Carmines to draw tons of cards even if you go first. So this is a very strong archetype and has a great time up against stuff like Gholdengo as well. At one point you one-shot Charizard, so you're a little bit afraid of something like Dusnoir, so maybe attacking in a Psyduck could be interesting. But is a strong archetype, has a tough time up against Gardevoir, so I cannot put it higher than tier B. Venusaur, my friend, what do we do with you? Yeah, with the Toedscruel, you can have a great time up against Gholdengo. I think the problem is that Moltres is around, and Moltres can take down your Teal Mask, which are lurking in the back. I don't know, hasn't seen that crazy amount of results. I'll put it in tier C. But Mega Venusaur is one of those archetypes that has a ton of hit points, right? So having a ton of hit points, having Energy Acceleration, having Meganium at your disposal to double up your energies seems strong. You can have Toedscruel to deal with the Gholdengo matchup. I think 380 HP is just a lot. It all comes down to your consistency, right? So you need all those Pokemon to just land perfectly. I know you have Bug Catching set. You hit weakness against Charizard EX. You hit weakness against Zoroark EX. You hit weakness against Mega Absol EX. So all these darkness decks lurking around in tier A. Maybe we should put it in tier B instead, right? I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt here as well. Mega Venusaur. Will we see it in action? Who knows? Terrabox, tier B as well. Terrabox is obviously a deck that saw a lot of hype in the Mega Evolution format. that will continue on, even though there's like new megas entering the scene. We're seeing like Mega Lopunny, Mega Diancie. I think Mega Diancie is the least of your problems because you can attacking Mega Mawile, which already saw a little bit of play in the Terra Box decks. Mega Mawile can deal with the Mega Diancie, not in the beginning of the game, but in the late game. You can take those 3 prize cards quite convincingly. You most likely will attack with Wellspring from time to time in the beginning of the game, so there is still a world out there where you're attacking Mega Mawile and have a great time up against like the Mega Diancie up in your path. Not a lot of decks playing Shaman, as I was already saying, so against stuff like Charizard, you have a great time. You can add attacking Iron Leaves for those pesky Darkness types, so it is still a strong, viable option. Then Joltik Box. Yeah, we'll put it in tier B as well. Joltik Box. There is a problem with Joltik Box, I would say. You have a tough time up against Gardevoir, believe it or not. If the opponent knows exactly where to place their Bravery Charms, you're going to be cooked. 100%. So, tough time up against Gardevoir. Tough time up against Gholdengo Zoroark. You might think, oh, I'm going to just charge up 2 Pikachus and I'm done with it. Like, great Gholdengo players can just attack with Zoroark, damage a Pikachu where you charged energies on, and then out of nowhere, then they can start a 2-2 prize trade. So, there is definitely some things to say about Joltik Box. Also, like Dragapult, like with enough like Neo Upper Energy, like with Hildas and all that. Note to self is that Dragapult also gains Dawn. Dawn is one of those consistency boosters, getting yourself a basic Pokemon, a stage 1, a stage 2. So that's going to be helping out Dragapult decks. And I don't feel like Joltik Box is in that great of a position. I know how like you can smack and Zoroark decks. That is a great thing, but for me, tier B. Okay, Conkeldurr. Yeah, tier C? Yeah, you cannot go push Conkeldurr higher, right? Having a tough time up against Gardevoir is bad. Having a tough time up against Marnie's Grimmsnarl is bad. Yeah, do I need to say more? You're having a tough time up against Dragapult Dusnoir as well, so it is tier C, even though it seems fun. You can go second, attack with Fan Rotom, use that Colossus Tenacity. I know, you can set up a bunch of the Dunsparce, you can get yourself your Brute Banette, your Poison combo, and just pretty much KO a lot of threats in the active position. Combine that with Gravity Mountain and maybe even, the Binding Mochi, and you can one-shot anything in the game. Has a very great time up against Gholdengo though, so for me, that is maybe a reason to play it, but it is always like any Dusnoir-based deck is scary. Gardevoir is scary, so you cannot push it higher. Archetypes, my friends. Yeah, with Gholdengo in the top position, with Moltres out there that do. The Moltres is not going to be doing anything because you do get rid of your own fire weakness after you attack. But still, nah. Yeah, maybe like this. Like, also giving it the benefit of the doubt, there's like a lot of tier B decks for me. Like average decks that could surprise people out of nowhere. But these are like definitely tier C decks, so that's cool. Moving forward, Dragapult with Charizard. A little bit less good than the Dragapult with Dusnoir, or the Charizard with Pidgeot and Dusnoir. It's like this is a little bit of a hybrid. I know like with both of them you can attack into different archetypes. Like with Charizard you patch up your Gardevoir weakness, which the Dragapult actually has. You of course can attacking some other inclusions. I've seen like Wellspring being played in this archetype. Very funnily enough, you use the Infernal Range ability of Charizard, get energy slapped upon your Wellspring and surprise the opponents out of nowhere. Lily's Determination is your best friend as a 4-off in this archetype. Like you can go for TM Evo as well with Arvent, setting up Dracloak, setting up Charmeleon. I don't know. If I would be playing Dragapult or Charizard, I would divide them. Either play Charizard, Pidgeot, or play Dragapult. Yeah, Frostlass, Budu. This is an annoying deck to deal with. I also put it in tier B, but it is one of those archetypes that why wouldn't you play Marnie's Grimmsnarl instead? I know like you have more counter catchers like Luminous, was it Luxurious Cape Budus that can be very annoying. Item locking the entire game, having your Monkey Dory action going around, but yeah, if the opponent slaps down Battle Coliseum, it's gonna be quite annoying for sure. I would just play Marnie's Grimmsnarl above this archetype. And then Pidgeot Control. I think Pidgeot Control is also in a fine spot. Yeah, I'll put it over here, to be honest. Pidgeot Control. So what can we say about Pidgeot Control? If the meta is more refined, Pidgeot control will become stronger. You have your L-Gem up against Dragapult, you have access to maybe a Cornerstone up against specific Charizard matchups. Against Gholdengo, you have to maybe play some Eeries to get rid of their superior energy retrievals. Against Gardevoir, you can try and trap them with Eat and Sudowoodo. Yeah. The more refined the meta is, or the more narrow it is in the top tables, the better control will become. So yeah, this is pretty much my tier list prediction for Phantasmal Flames. If you enjoyed this video, let me know by rocking the hell out of the like button. I would be very, very grateful if you would take the time to do so. And also let me know in the comment section which deck you will be putting higher or lower up on the list, or if I forgot a couple of archetypes that you say like, oh, this needs to be under. Where is my Arboliva EX or something? You don't know. Maybe you want to be having an additional deck included into this archetype. I'm also noting this as a tier list prediction based on Japanese results. There could still be archetypes out there that are not explored quite yet that will be emerging out of nowhere, just as we saw with Mega Absol box. Also being said, let me know which deck you would be including into this list if it hasn't been included already. Let's have a discussion started, which decks are on the perfect position, which decks would be higher or lower. I already talked about that, but I want to hear your opinion down below. Also check out the sponsors. They make the content possible on the channel. Here we have dragonshield.com, sleeves, binders, and deck boxes, 5% off on everything on the website using that coupon ZapDose5. There's PokemonStore.com for your TCG Live code card needs. You can get them with 5% off using the coupon ZapDoseTCG. And cardmarket.com for European players, where you're able to buy as well as sell cards to people all across Europe. Use that referral name ZapDoseTCG to help support the channel. Thank you all very much for watching today's upload. I'll see you guys tomorrow for more Pokemon TCG action. And note to self, Thursday we will have Phantasmal Flames legal on Pokemon TCG Live, so it's gonna be awesome. Peace!